Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the ISCA ButtKicker Cup and Super Cup Series as we tackle O'Reilly Auto Parts 106 here at the Indianapolis Road Course. And man, this is going to be an exciting race here tonight. I mean, everybody really close on their lap times, and this is one of those tracks where it's incredibly hard to pass, and you're really going to be wanting to put a lot of pressure on the guy in front of you to make him break and make a mistake. Definitely going to be the name of the game here tonight. Definitely some fast laps, and it's going to be all about consistency. Of course, as always, joined in the booth by my partner in crime, Big Al. How are you doing this evening?
Hey, doing pretty good, Brian. I'm just excited to get ready to shake it up a little bit here with a little road course racing. Everything about this track is backwards, so I think that's just going to make it even that much better of a night. What about yourself? How you doing this evening?
I'm doing fine. Definitely excited to see some great racing here in the ISCA, series. Definitely the top of the, our racing, I say, food chains in here tonight, as we have quite a large field, which is something we probably don't expect a lot when it comes to these road courses. A lot of times they're very intimidating, but we're seeing a lot of guys showing speed that maybe aren't expected to show as much speed, and definitely interesting to see these guys kind of rise to this challenge here tonight. Just considering, I mean, they recently just updated this scan of this racetrack. It was the MotoGP Indy circuit. Now it is actually what NASCAR is running this Sunday. So this is going to be exciting to see, these guys rise to this occasion, Big Al.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And plus, we're going to see how many road course ringers we got out there. That's right. We know we got a lot of guys that are very consistent at turning left. But tonight we get to turn left and right, have different braking points, different shift points. That's just going to make it a whole different kind of a situation here. I think Ryan's got the race facts for us.
Yep, of course, as we mentioned, this is the ButtKicker Cup and Super Cup Series. The O'Reilly Auto Parts 106 at Indy Road. 41 laps here tonight, so not too long of a race. Lap times are about one a minute 30. That's about what the average is for a lot of these drivers out here, so it won't take too long. Stages will be 9 and 18, so that's definitely going to make things interesting. Give guys a chance to, if they made a big mistake, to get back out there and maybe right the ship a little bit here. Of course, on Indy on a road course in general, you don't see cautions, so those stages are going to be welcome for these drivers out here to kind of get themselves back, like I said, kind of get, maybe change some things, get better, change maybe the car also. Of course, this is an open setup. These guys are going to have five sets of tires, one on the vehicle and four in the pits. 25 laps is the fuel window. So looking at the math here, I don't believe fuel is going to be really a concern here. I don't believe we will see any green flag pit stops. So that's kind of a little disappointing in my opinion. Would have loved to see some green flag pit stops out here at this track. I think a lot of guys have actually been having some difficulties, Big Al, with the racetrack, not knowing exactly what the limits of the track are. Not well. I'd say, it's not very obvious.
Well, you'll find it sooner or later, though. All you got to do is get out there and run it a couple of times. And with these cars, I don't think you're going to see a lot of guys changing tires because as the tires kind of warm up, they kind of become more at one with the car, if you will. I mean, this car handles awesome. This is an awesome track. I think we're going to see an awesome race. If you're not into road racing, I think this might actually change your mind.
Oh, I definitely agree. I mean, I was talking to a little bit to the guys before the event actually started, and they said, it takes longer to get the tires warmed up. I mean, so 2 or 3 laps is what it takes, and so a lot of guys, if we did end up having to do green flag stops or even under yellow, guys probably might forsake taking those tires, and we saw that before. I do believe at Road America, to where tires really didn't matter very much here.
Yeah, absolutely. The road course, because it's kind of going to be even wear. That's the one thing that makes the road courses a little bit different as qualifying is underway. These guys are definitely going to be putting down some pretty interesting times. And, the thing about road course racing, I think it's going to be anybody's race, Brian. Although, like you said, we do have three distinct stages that we will be running. Just going to be interested to see how these guys are going to play with each other.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is definitely going to be probably some combat sports, if you will, a little bit of contact out on the racetrack definitely could happen, and we know the new damage model definitely going to keep things interesting. Could we see some tires flying off of race cars? Could definitely be a possibility here tonight. As like you said, qualifying, of course, is underway. We're almost halfway through it. A little bit over 5 minutes here left to go. Let's actually take a look at the standings here for the points for this series. Taking a look at that right now, Clayton Hoffman out in front in the Cup Series standings. He has 2 wins and 4 top 5 or 4 top 5s, 600 or 262 points here. So not too far out in front of Matt DeCiani. So all Clayton Hoffman really needs is a bad finish to kind of mess this up for him. But I mean, knowing him, he's going to be really consistent here tonight. Probably going to pick up a nice one. We'll have to wait and see though. There are a lot of guys that are kind of rivaling his speed out here, so I don't think he's going to have it easy like we've seen it in the past. Matt DeCiani sitting in second place. He's got 1 win. Third place, Jeffrey Sousa with 1 win. Carl Dodson, he's sitting in 4th place in the points. I don't believe he's out there on the racing surface here, so he might fall back through these points here, considering J.C. Nobrega is sitting in 5th, only 3 points behind him. Mark Pageant sitting in 6th place. Josh Schaffner 7th. Dan the Rabbit is sitting in 8th. Chris Johnson in 9th. Thomas O'Hara in 10th. And looking at the Super Cup points here, this is actually extends to pretty much the entire NASCAR season. So I do believe it's 38 weeks that they count this one. Clayton Hoffman sitting there with 6 wins, 9 top 5s. Second place, Jeffrey Sousa, 3 wins, 9 top 5s. Third place, Matt DeCiani, 2 wins, 10 top 5s. So definitely Matt DeCiani has a air of consistency about him. Would not be surprised to see him add to that list here. Josh Schaffner sitting right now 4th place. 5th place, Mark Pageant. 6th place, Al Kozlowski. 7th place, Chris Johnson. 8th place, Jason Baker. 9th place, Joseph Lester. 10th place, Greg Wachinski. Taking a little bit further look down here, the running order, Wayne Grassi, he's got 5 top 5, sitting in 11th place. Kenny Powell, he's sitting in 12th. 13th, Mark Sanchez. 14th, Paul Olson. 15th, Randy Drumhiller. 16th, Robert Pattengale. And on the outside looking in, Andrew Griesbaum. And I do believe, yeah, he is out there on the racetrack. So those are the points for the Cup and Super Cup Series. Appreciate you bearing with me through that mouthful that I just regurgitated. Definitely a lot of stories going on in the points, though, huh, Big Al?
Yeah, definitely it is, and you know this is going to be a straightforward race. I don't imagine that we're going to have a lot of issues tonight. I think it's just, if so, it's probably going to be self spins. So this is going to be a great opportunity for these guys to showcase maybe some of their road racing skills, as well as some guys that you don't usually see up top to get a chance to advance in the points as well.
Yeah, definitely a lot of opportunity for some guys out here to make a mistake, and hard to recover from that, especially in that final stage. Of course, like I said, those, that stage on 9 and stage on 18 could help. I mean, those are going to be simply somewhat practices for these guys. It's going to be so hard to pass, though. You're going to want to have every bit of the track position you can get, even in both of those stages. Of course, those stages do pay points also, so could be something that some guys maybe keep in mind. Looks like we have a little bit over 2 minutes here left in qualifying. We just saw, speaking of self-spin, Clayton Hoffman spun there. Derek Heitman right now has the pole with a minute 28.518. That is a half a second faster than Clayton Hoffman right now. That is
Well,
crazy fast.
that is a blistering lap time right there. And if he is capable of running laps like that consistently, man, these guys might be in for trouble.
Yeah, that is very, very fast. I know some of the top guys on iRacing have been hitting about a minute 27, minute 28, depending on the track conditions. So I think Derek Heitman, he's got himself a nice piece underneath him. But that, the thing is, he's also in qualifying trim, I'm assuming. Even though you can't add tape to these race cars, there are things you could do to the suspension and tire pressure to really get it to be faster on that first lap. But when you're in the race conditions, the tires are going to be cold, and you're not going to be hit those kind of quick laps. I mean, it's going to be until a little after lap 3. That's when you're probably going to be at your fastest.
Yeah, Derek Heitman, actually, this is his second race here consistently. I think he just moved over from the Saturday series,
That's
the
right.
Tucson Sound Art Saturday, coming over to the ButtKicker series, and definitely putting himself out there to be seen, to say the least.
Yeah, and I mean, and he's definitely hit the ground running in this series. I mean, I know last week, I think at Pocono, he was up front quite a bit, wasn't he?
Yeah, he had a lot of good pace last week. I think he just ended up. I think he had contact. I think he ended up breaking out, if I'm not sure, but don't quote me on that, because Big Al's always, he's always a lap off and a couple cars back.
We'll have to wait and see what he has in store for us here. Track position is going to be very important. We see Chad Sullivan trying to get himself a lap in before qualifying ends. He goes off of the racing surface. Just goes to show you how hard it is. I mean, a lot of these portions on the inner circuit here, they said they run it. A lot of guys are running it in first gear. If you run it in second, I mean, you can run it in second, but a lot of guys seem like they go off the racing surface with that little bit of added power. So that's kind of an interesting thing to keep in mind. But let's go ahead and take a step away and pay a little bit of attention to our nation's national anthem.
Race fans, it is time for those most famous words in motorsports.
Driver, start your engine! And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and the grid is set. Derek Heitman with the pole. Looks like Clayton Hoffman going to be lining up in second place. Daniel Coelho going to be lining up in third. J.C. Nobrega fourth. Mark Pageant in fifth place. Matt DeCiani in sixth. Renato Tamburini in seventh place. Lucas Abreu in eighth. Joey Preby in ninth place. Mark Sanchez rounding out the top 10.
And that's going to put Wayne Grassi in the 11th with Andrew Griesbaum beside him in 12th. Greg Wachinski starts in 13th with Robert Pattengale along his outside. Randy Drumhiller there in 15th with Kenny Powell on the outside of him. Jeffrey Souza in 17th with Jose Acosta in 18th. Thomas O'Hara in 19th and Chris D. Johnson rounding out your top 20.
Chad Sullivan going to be in 21st. Al Kozlowski in 25th, or I'm sorry, 22nd. My brain just stopped working there for a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Joseph Lester, 23rd. 24th, Paul Olson. And rounding out our 25-car pit field here is Andrew Layton. Definitely excited for these guys to get rolling here. This is going to be a good one here. I have no doubts about it, as we have a very, very stacked field. 25 cars, definitely a good number for a road course. I would not be surprised to see us have some issues, though, coming into turn one. But we say that about every time we do say that, Big Al, about a road course race. It seems like it doesn't go that way. You know.
Yeah, I think this race is going to go exceptionally smooth. I mean, the thing is, guys are just going to have to show a little bit of patience there, and it will sort itself out. The hardest part for them probably is going to be the parade lap here because, going 2 by 2. But other than that, though, Brian, I think it should be clean and green. Well, it's going to be clean and green, as there will not be a full course caution. But I do say again, the first lap's going to be disastrous. It's just going to be atrocious because the tires are going to be cold. But after that, once the tires kind of get heated up and the cars find their pace, man, I think drivers are going to actually have fun with this one.
Oh, I think you're 100% right. It's just going to be about getting through that first lap. I mean, I watched a lot of practice here today, and a lot of guys, on the cold tires just kept getting loose. I mean, it's just something that happens, out here. So definitely going to have to be careful. Here's the pace car. Looks like it's dipping down pit road, getting ready to get this thing underway here for the first time, I do believe, in iRacing Stock Car Association history. Going to be seeing a new scan here of the Indianapolis road course. A little bit of a good preview to what is to come on Sunday, and of course what's to come on Saturday. I mean, definitely going to be exciting here. Guys entering the restart zone here. Green flag out in the air for the first time, and Derek Heitman wasting no time to get up through the gears. He's definitely going to have the preferred groove coming into the first corner here.
Yeah, make sure everybody is hoping that everybody gets on their brakes. You don't want anybody to come
3 wide to 35. Look at that. What a move. Really late braking there. I'm surprised that he made that corner, the 35 of Renato Tamburini. Another 3 wide condition here. The 65, Joey Preby in the middle. Here's the 9, Lucas Abreu going to make up a spot. Oh, problems for Greg Wyszynski.
Yeah, looks like Greg Wyszynski's going to find himself high coming down the backstretch there right before they come into the S's. But hey, guess what? All he's got to do is just get back in line, and he should be able to get himself through just fine. Now, this is that part of the track where some guys want to go through in second gear and some guys want to go through in first gear, but they're navigating through just fine here as they come through the S's.
Yeah, everybody definitely minding their P's and Q's so far. Able to, oh, never mind, the 31 of Mark Sanchez.
And Kenny Powell takes himself a trip through the grass there.
Mark Sanchez definitely spinning in front of a lot of guys. Like you said, Kenny Powell also having a separate incident himself. Man, it is definitely getting a little bit racy out here, guys. They're putting it all out on the line here. Paul Olson, no, that's the 92, I'm sorry, of Clayton Hoffman there on the bottom.
Yeah, Clayton Hoffman definitely off the pace a little bit as he was going to fall all the way back to 4th place. Not sure what happened to him, but as it coming, the thing is, like I said, that first lap's just going to be a little bit treacherous, man. But now that these cars are getting heated up a little bit, I think drivers might actually start to find that pace they're looking for. As Clayton Hoffman now is starting to get back in line, and he's got Matt DeCiani behind him.
I think we just saw someone spin out there and lose some position. Didn't get to really see who that was. I think it might have been, and Derek Heitman having some issues.
Yeah, there's Heitman coming back onto the racetrack. He is really going to take a little bit of a dip.
Yeah, I mean, he was up there in the lead and lost that. Man, it's got to be feeling bad. I mean, even though you said, I agree totally. The first lap definitely going to be very treacherous here on these new tires. But even the second lap, I think, is still just as deadly, it seems like, the way these tires are taking time to heat up.
Yeah, they are taking their time, but, the lap times themselves are going to start to increase. It's JC Nebrega definitely putting down the fastest lap time so far.
He definitely has been looking pretty quick out there right now. Of course, not everybody's up to speed. I do believe some smoke coming off of Andrew Griesbaum's car. Let's see what the lap times this time by are. 129.888 from JC Nobrega. Definitely a good one there.
Yeah, it looks like that's going to be our fastest so far of the race.
Definitely been seeing a lot of problems from a lot of drivers out here trying to get. That's one good thing, like I said, about the stages that are going to be coming up. I mean, these guys are going to get a chance to reset.
Yeah, you can't get discombobulated just because, you can't get, what's the word I'm looking for? You can't get frustrated because you don't have a good lap. You just got to let the car come to you. As Derek Heitman himself finds all the way back now in 8th place, but he will be able to regroup. Robert Pattengill there looks like he is going to slide out and let the 5 of Greg Wyszynski as well as the 84 of Andrew Layton go by.
Clayton Hoffman catching up here to the back here of Dan the Rabbit. Looks like we're going to have a battle here for second place here shortly. Clayton Hoffman, of course, got a little bit loose there on one of the corners earlier, but looks like he has definitely managed to recover just fine, and now has found himself to the back end of Dan the Rabbit. But J.C. Nobrega, doesn't seem like anybody's going to be able to touch him right now. But you never know. I mean, it's so easy to make mistakes in a track like this. Throttle control is so important. See, Mark Sanchez has been looking really good. He was one of the fastest guys in practice. Did I say Mark Sanchez? I meant Mark Pageant.
No, it's okay. But man, these guys are racing hard here towards the back of the pack. As Greg Wachinski is slowly trying to make up the ground that he had lost. He is now going to pass Randy Drumhiller. That's going to put him back up at 14. Chad Sullivan in the 21 car is definitely having a little bit of a problem there, as a lot of the guys actually had to navigate to get around him.
Yeah, don't get to see a lot of Chad Sullivan in this series recently. Glad to see him back.
Speaking of not seeing a lot of somebody, Jose Acosta is actually making a return. His debut was last Thursday night there at Pocono. I think he made it like maybe 4 laps before he wrecked out. But tonight, looks like Jose is actually doing pretty good, as he is up in 13th place.
Yeah, right now fighting side by side with Greg Wachinski. Looks like Wachinski's able to dive it in and be able to make that pass stick. Yeah, good to see that John Deere machine out there.
Yeah, Jose is definitely a familiar face in our Saturday league. But for those of you that don't join that, we're usually over there. That is the Tucson Sound Art Cup on the Saturday night, as we are here on the Thursday night ButtKicker Cup.
And you just saw Mark Pageant, a little bit of the last little pieces of it. He actually went off of the racing surface, fell back to 7th place, losing position to Lucas Abreu and Derek Heitman, as Heitman tries to work his way back forward. J.C. Nobrega, fastest lap of the race once again, hitting a minute 29.018. That is an incredibly fast lap, as we're now on lap 5. One thing that's going to be key here at this track, I mean, clean air. I mean, definitely that's something we've seen be very, very important in these race cars, no matter what track you're at.
Yeah, it always does make a difference if you're out front, Plus, you don't have to contend with anybody else when you're out front. But another thing that's going to be different here is the pits are going to be on the opposite side. So usually in NASCAR, when the drivers come down pit lane, they pit and the pit stalls are out of their left side window. Well, tonight, in this case, they're actually going to be out the passenger side door.
Yeah, I mean, you literally are running this racetrack the wrong direction than what you'd usually expect on the oval course here. Definitely kind of throws you off a little bit, but it looks like these guys are definitely up to the task here. As Mark Pageant's trying to hold off Joseph Lester. That is the battle for 7th and 8th right now. J.C. Nobrega now out to 1.5 seconds of a lead over Danilo Coelho. Definitely been taking care of business here. J.C. was one of the fastest in practice. Also, Lucas Abreu was really quick in practice. Would not be surprised to see him make his way forward here. So all these guys are really up in the top. Literally, the top 8 are all hitting minute 29-second laps and are very close on pace. And look at that. Just looking at Derek Heitman's last lap, minute 28.88. That is incredibly fast. Looked a lot like what his qualifying lap was.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's just trying to get his pace back under him, and he'll do that. You can't get frustrated. We still got 3 laps to go here before this stage is over, so there's still plenty of time. But as if this were oval racing, this would be what we would consider go time.
And I have to ask, do you think we're going to see some guys maybe risking it a little bit and going a little early to short pit to try to gain some track position? Mark Pageant back off the racetrack. Oh, no, he has just seen better days here.
Yeah, it looked like he was actually trying to put his nose somewhere that it shouldn't be, and it didn't work out quite well for him. I don't know. I don't think you'd have anything to risk though, Brian. So I will definitely say if you are out of the top 10, that would be one way to get yourself back to gain a lot of track position.
Yeah, if you're a
But
Derek Heitman, like if you're a guy that you know you have the pace to stay up front, you just made a mistake and lost that position. I mean, I think that would be a very good decision for him. As Mark Pageant, he is still struggling. Smoke, he's locking that tire up. I mean, man, and it's hard to get the temperature out of that tire once you've done that. He's just making
yeah,
things worse.
I think the bigger question is going to be though is just how many people are going to even pit.
Of course, the fuel window is 25 laps. Yeah, I mean, you're right. You don't have to pit. I mean, why not just stay out? If you don't, I mean, especially when the tank gets lower, you might even be capable of even faster lap times. I mean, I doubt we're going to see anybody. We might see some guys take tires under the caution, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, just from the data that I have, we've been collecting, it just doesn't seem like it's worth it that you're going to spend that time, lose track position, and also have to worry about your tires getting back up to temperature again.
Yeah, I mean you're spot on with that. It's just there's really no distinct advantage to pitting on this track, as I believe pit road will be closed this time by.
JC Nobrega definitely the favorite here to win so far tonight, as he is now out to almost 2 seconds of a lead. Hasn't necessarily been turning the fastest laps, but he's definitely been consistent, and that's what you need at a track like this. You could hot lap all day long. You could hit a really quick lap, but can you consistently put down the pace you need?
Yeah, that is definitely going to be the tale of the tape.
And even before this stage ends, I do believe we might see some battling for position as Derek Heitman side by side with Lucas Abreu. He's going to move himself back up into the top 5. This is going to be the one to watch. That 76, I think he's the one to watch here tonight. He is looking really, really good. Seems like that car definitely has a lot of pace around this racetrack. And, but even if you do have a really good car up underneath you, it still takes talent and actually memorizing the racetrack. I mean, this is a newly, sort of a newly minted track right now to these guys. So, I mean, you have to be somewhat adaptive and take the preparation too whenever you, actually practice and learn this track.
Yeah, it does take laps in order to, you got to turn laps in order to be good at this track. But, the guys have had a lot of time to do just that, to actually turn laps out here tonight. So, with that, it's just a matter of being consistent. You got to be smooth on the throttle at this track, because if you're not, well, all it takes is once, right?
100%. I mean, it depends on where you make a mistake at. I mean, there's plenty of places you can go off into the grass and it's not that big of a deal and not get any damage in because the stage will save you. But if you hit the walls, I mean, it's definitely easy to, when you're coming back onto the road, the oval portion of this track, I'd say, to kick that thing out of sorts. I mean, getting back on the throttle, coming onto the actual oval portion. Of course, this car's not, not an oval setup these guys have on these cars. Oh no, the 35 sideways going to be sitting in the sand here. He's going to lose a position here to Wayne Grossi. That's going to move him up to 9th place. Hopefully, Renato doesn't lose any more positions than that. I do believe we are on the white flag for the stage. JC Nobrega out to a commanding 3.6 second lead.
Yeah, and he's got Danny Coho behind him. These guys definitely, they practice together, and I think we're probably seeing a little bit of their strong suit, because I think road racing is definitely in their wheelhouse. So if they keep continuing to do what they're doing, I think we might be talking to those guys here tonight, Brian.
Oh, I definitely think we will be, as we've seen a lot of talent here. Of course, anything could still happen. I mean, get the field shaken up, definitely we'll have to wait and see. I mean, these guys are going to have to pit at some point. I mean, whether it's at the end of the, stage 2, they have to pit then. I mean, at least to get the fuel necessary to make it to the end of this race. And if you bobble, make a little mistake on pit road and you lose track position, or you make a mistake even on the racetrack, I mean, anything could still happen. You know, with a race like this, you know, going from Pocono, you know, to this track, of course, you know, it's a lot harder to turn left and right. I mean, you're using muscles that you usually don't use. I mean, and you could get worn out a lot quicker. It takes a whole lot more focus at a track like this. And look at that, locking up the tires. The 76 of Derek Heitman, he's still going to battle here with Matt DeCiani. This is for 4th place. Lucas Abreu going to try to take advantage of the situation. And I do believe that should be the stage there. J.C. Nobrega able to win stage 1. Danilo Coelho in 2nd place. Clayton Hoffman 3rd. Matt DeCiani, Clayton Hoffman having a little bit of a blink there. He looks like he's back. Well, I do believe we just had a problem with Clayton Hoffman.
Yeah, it seems that he has mainly disconnected. Not sure what that's about.
Yeah, not sure at all. A little bit, I think maybe some iRacing server issues going on right now. Something's happening here to my even telemetry. But we will do another rundown here through the field here. J.C. Nobrega was able to win the stage here. Danilo Coelho finished 2nd place. Matt DeCiani, if Clayton Hoffman is not here anymore, he is going to be 3rd. Derek Heitman 5th. Lucas Abreu 6th. Mark Pageant in 8th place. Joey Preby 9th. Wayne Grossi, I do believe, in 10th here. So I probably am messing that all sorts up. I mean, I'm having to do some South Carolina education is not benefiting me here tonight. But, of course, that will be the end of our stage 1. Well, let's go ahead and take a step away, let these guys maybe get some pit stops, see if they maybe can even work out some type of server issue, I do believe, going on. But we'll be right back.
Yeah, my telemetry's...
It's O-Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Stop in today and check out store-wide savings, plus earn double points on over 225 items. It's our way of saying thank you. If you're not already a member, sign up today during O-Rewards Member Appreciation Month. It's fast, easy, and free. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Had a little bit of technical difficulties there, I do believe, with our telemetry here, but I think hopefully it's all cleared up. Unfortunately, though, one person that it is not cleared up for, Clayton Hoffman, he is out of his race car, I do believe. A lot of guys having some major issues here. Actually, a couple guys actually out of the race cars now that I look at it. But I do believe we would talk to our, stage 1 winner, but unfortunately, I don't believe he has a significant grasp on the English language. Unfortunately, I know Danilo Coelho usually acts as a translator for us, but we decided let's talk to Derek Heitman. He's been showing some significant speed. I mean, he qualified on the pole. Let's get him in here, Big Al.
He's in here.
All righty. Derek, how are you doing, man? I mean, you started on the pole, had a little bit of a, mistake there on the cold tires, but it looks like you definitely have a ton of speed. What is making you so fast? I mean, you look like you've been able to really pass when other people haven't been able to.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, I'm doing good. I'm trying to take care of the tires. I'm braking early. I'm just trying not to overdrive the car. Something I learned a little bit earlier in the week is slower is actually faster here. So when you're trying to drive it too hard is when you're actually losing lap time. So I'm just doing the best I can to keep it in one piece, and had that one little mistake, but other than that, should find my way back up front, I hope.
Well, we definitely hope you do. I mean, you just went down pit road. Was that to maybe take some damage off or fuel up?
It was for fuel only, just because I know a lot of race strategy people are going to pit at the end of this stage and have to take gas, and so I'm going to take fuel only again, no tires, and hopefully cycle out ahead of everybody, having to take less fuel than everyone.
Could be an interesting strategy. That's something we never really thought of. I mean, that's why we're up here in the booth and you're down there on the racetrack, man. Well, great job to you so far. I know you guys are probably itching to get back racing. Who can we shout out after you're, doing
Um,
so great and that pole position?
Definitely shout out Matt DeCiani. He's definitely taught me a lot this week. Gave me a few setup pointers, and he's been putting up practice sessions, helping me get better. So definitely got to give him a shout out, as well as definitely Elite Performance Industries and Michael Connie, of course.
All right, man. Well, we definitely appreciate your time. We wish you the best of luck in the rest of your race.
Awesome, sir. Thank you so much.
That was Derek Heitman. He actually has been doing quite a great job here tonight. Pole position has been, I do believe, the fastest man on the racetrack so far here tonight. Yeah, looking at the lap times here, he is the fastest man. We'll have to wait and see if he definitely still has that speed. Luckily, he didn't take tires, so they won't have to deal with that cold tire situation, Big Al. Do you believe the...
Yeah, absolutely.
ahead.
Absolutely. That's going to be the key, like you said, but it was an awesome strategy that he pulled, actually going down and pitting this time, as opposed to, that way he won't have to take as much fuel on the next stage. So
hopefully nobody heard that. He's going to give the secret away from next time.
too late. It's too late. I think he's going to try to win the race off of pit road.
Of course, JC Nobrega has the track position here. Yeah, he's definitely going to have to try to do that. I mean, I think that's a good choice. I mean, everybody else is going to be probably sitting on pit road for 8 seconds, while he's going to just probably spend just a couple seconds down there and be able to get off first. I mean, that's going to be, I think that's a good decision there for him for sure. As still the telemetry acting up a little bit here, I think it hopefully fixes itself by the time we go green. Man, this has definitely been somewhat frustrating. Of course, we do have another stage coming up here. Lap 18 will be the conclusion of stage 2, so definitely looking forward to that here, and also looking forward to the final stage. I think that's when it's going to be definitely going to test the limits of the tires too, because I mean, we know tires don't matter quite as much. But I mean, there's got to be some type of wear. I mean, I think we might see the limit of it at the end of stage 2, or in the end of the race, I should say.
Yeah, you just get faster the longer you go. The longer you go, the faster you get. That's just the key with the tires.
Definitely very interesting how this new tire model works. Seems like it's a little bit more realistic, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's a whole nother facet to the game that you actually get to include. So that just makes the strategies even seem more realistic. But guys are going to take tires. You can count on that, especially at the end of this second stage. That's when I'm going to expect to see most of these guys come down to at least take, maybe one side. I don't know, Brian. What are you thinking?
I don't know. I mean, based on what Derek Heitman said, I don't think they're going to take tires at all.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of going with. I was just trying to be the devil's advocate. Somebody's got to throw that bull into the ring, if you will, and say, yeah, I think some guys are going to come down to go for tires, but we definitely know guys will be coming down for fuel. So it'd just be interesting to see if anybody does try to get tires at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. Let me go ahead and take one little quick step away. I know we're getting ready to go green here in just a moment, but something is going on with the overlay here that's not properly showing the thing here. So I'm going to restart the overlay. We'll be right back.
ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. Get yours today at thebuttkicker.com and be sure to use our 20% discount promo code ISCA20.
Do apologize about that, ladies and gentlemen. Had a little bit of an issue there with its telemetry. But we are back in it and in action. JC Nobrega finds himself right now still in the lead. I think you said you saw a lot of action going on there, Big Al. What was going on?
Just sheer pandemonium, I guess, would be the easiest way to describe what was happening there.
Sounds like some guys were definitely having some contact with one another there.
Yeah, I think we definitely had Wayne Grossi got into. I know Andrew Layton was involved as well. Joey Preby, I believe, was also involved in an altercation. Randy Drumhiller actually had got tagged from behind. So it was just a series of unfortunate events that I was actually trying to see what's going on. As I do believe that my telemetry now is working right. I have JC Nobrega back in the lead. For whatever reason, it was showing that he was plummeting through the field, and I was trying to make sure I wasn't going crazy there, Brian.
Yeah, I think we both were trying to probably think that same thing, considering just a little bit of calamity here with the telemetry. Could have maybe even had something to do with Clayton Hoffman's early exit. Something could have. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it seems like it could have just been on the side of our telemetry. Not sure what's going on, but we definitely seem like we got it solved here right now as the race is still underway. JC Nobrega out to 1.8 seconds on Matt DeCiani. DeCiani, though, turned some really good laps. Minute 28.952 last time by. JC Nobrega actually minute 28.805.
Yeah, he's actually coming out of nowhere. And speaking of coming out of nowhere, back during that previous incident while we were not broadcasting, Jose Acosta actually found himself sideways and spun around. So that caused him to plummet down through the field. And I do believe that is when Wayne Grossi made contact with Greg Wyszynski. But poor Randy Drumhiller, I think he was that cream in the middle of the Oreo sandwich there for a while.
That is not good, that's for sure. Unfortunate for Wayne Grossi. He's showing a lot of pace here tonight. He's going to be definitely probably happy when that second stage comes to its conclusion, so he can maybe get back a little bit closer here. Hopefully, I'd say anger between those two drivers.
Oh, no, it just seemed like it was one of those racing deals. But, it's just, like I said, it just seemed to be one guy checked up and then it was a chain reaction. But, hey, we're still racing right now and everything's good to go. But the 117 of Thomas O'Hara, he is definitely coming to the back end of the 44 of Randy Drumhiller. And he is trying to get around him as he has got the 7-8 of Andrew Griesbaum and Joey Preby. Preby also found himself spun around. Now he's actually trying to make up track position, so hopefully these guys will get it slowed down going into turn one.
We'll definitely have to wait and see how that turns out. As you can see right behind him, Joey Preby coming up on to Thomas O'Hara very quickly. He's actually 2 seconds faster than Thomas O'Hara.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a rocket ship. The only problem, like I said, he had just kind of lost control a little bit, and that caused him to be the unfortunate recipient of a single car spin award.
He is definitely working his way back forward, though. He just got by 2 cars in one go there. Randy Drumhiller and Thomas O'Hara. Now he's going to try to take on the task of catching up to Kenny Powell.
Yeah,
More
Powell,
big fighting here. Derek Heitman, we saw him, had pitted and fell all the way back quite a ways. Now he's working his way back up into the top 10, fighting with Joseph Lester right now and Lucas Abreu.
Oh, yeah, those guys are definitely going to be battling for position because remember, those top 10 positions do pay points. So everybody's wanting to try to get as much of that as they can, as we are still with some 3 laps to go in this stage, Brian.
Gotta love the sight of those. Oh, contact there. Joseph Lester into the back end of the 9 of Lucas Abreu. You gotta love, though, that glow from those brake rotors, man. It is so apparent at this racetrack.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Especially coming there in the 1. I think that is where it's like glowing like a Christmas tree. Even though Derek Heitman has made it past Lucas Abreu, the fight is still on. Joseph Lester dives it in. Look at that. Into the grand stair. Somehow keeps that car underneath him. Oh, he turns the 9.
Yeah, I kind of saw that coming. It just seemed like those 2 guys were just getting a little bit impatient with each other. And that's the one thing I do believe I said would not happen. But, well, you're going to kind of have that on those big jobs.
They're definitely going to have to get in contact with O'Reilly Auto Parts after this one.
Speaking of that, Jose Acosta off the pace there. That caused Thomas O'Hara to actually get into the back of him. Jose Acosta had actually passed those guys, but because of maybe a little inadvertent awkwardness on his part, he's going to find himself slipping on back and losing those positions now all the way back to 18th.
Definitely have enjoyed my time here at Indianapolis, though. This has been definitely a fun race to watch. We appreciate everybody tuning in here tonight. And you could choose anything to do with your Thursday night, but you chose to spend it with us, and we definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's just a lot going on around this racetrack, and I don't have the aid of my map telemetry, so we're just kind of winging it over here at the Nixon Farm.
Yeah, there definitely is a lot going on. Hard to keep track of everything on the racetrack. I wish I had more screens and more, maybe even more computers with iRacing running, so I could have it looking at many different battles at the same time. Well, I'll tell you what, Matt DeCiani's been looking really good. He's been slowly, he's been keeping that gap, maintaining that gap to JC. I think if anybody's got anything for JC, it could very well be Matt DeCiani or Derek Heitman. Mark Patchett's definitely been showing a lot of pace too. His fastest lap, minute 28.6. That's faster than both of the drivers in front of him. Now going to be 2 laps to go here in the stage. Next flag is going to be the white flag for this stage. Pits should be closed, I do believe. Right, Big Al?
Pits are closed, Brian. That is absolutely correct.
I'll tell you what, though. I don't know if that 9, Lucas Abreu, is going to have a short memory there with that 95. That's one thing about a road course, just like with the Harvick and Chase Elliott thing that we saw last year. You know, one thing about a road course, you better take him out or you're going to see him again. You know what I mean?
Hey, look, I didn't want to speak it into existence, but yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a little bit of unfinished business there between those two, if you will.
So far here tonight, though, JC Nobrega has led quite a bit of this race. Looking at the stats here, he has led 14 out of 17 laps. Definitely a great job to him, and love to maybe even look a little bit further into maybe some of these guys' road I ratings. Looking at JC Nobrega, he does have a 21.45. I do believe Matt DeCiani 23.59. And I do believe those are the highest I ratings in the field right now on road I rating. But, I mean, I don't know if that really is indicative of how well you'll do on a car like this at a track like this, though. I mean, you could be the greatest road racer with an open-wheel car and come here and drive this, and it is completely different.
Yeah, absolutely, that is the case. But, man, looks like Jeffrey Souza is up into 10th place, but he has got Mark Sanchez going to be battling him. And this matters because this is the last points position here. So if Sanchez can actually get up there and actually make the pass, he might actually grab that point, as this is the last point that is up for grabs.
And speaking of that, this is the white flag, too. So, I mean, as soon as whether it's Souza or Mark Sanchez, that flag's going to be coming out, and you know they're going to have to settle it before too long here. I know Mark Sanchez probably wanting them points, but Jeffrey Souza, not an easy customer, that's for sure. He's known for being very, very talented. We've seen him in a number of leagues, even the LTAC series.
Absolutely, Brian. That is absolutely true, and looks like Souza is actually going to hold him off here.
And it looks like JC Nobrega once again going to cross the line in first for stage number 2. He has right now 3.5 seconds on second place Matt DeCiani. As Jeffrey Souza, I do believe, going to be soon to cross the start-finish line. And he is going to be able to pull away from Mark Sanchez. And that will be our stage 2. As I said before, JC Nobrega going to be our stage 2 winner. Matt DeCiani, second place. Mark Pageant, third. Danilo Kilhelho in fourth place. Renato Tamburini, fifth. Derek Heitman in sixth place. Definitely a good job for Derek to be able to work his way back up forward like he did. Seventh place, Lucas Abreu. Eighth place, Joseph Lester. Ninth place, Greg Wachinski. And rounding out our top 10 of points-paying positions here is Jeffrey Souza. Well, let's go ahead and take a quick step away, and when we come back, why don't we talk to DeCiani? What do you think?
Yep, sounds like a plan.
ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing.
It's O Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Stop in today and check out store-wide savings, plus earn double points on over 225 items. It's our way of saying thank you. If you're not already a member, sign up today during O Rewards Member Appreciation Month. It's fast, easy, and free. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, yellow flag pit stops have not happened yet. One thing about it, I think is really noticeable here on my telemetry. No one has pitted except for, I do believe, Derek Heitman, Andrew Layton. So everybody is going to be pitting here. I mean, there's no two ways about it. You have to pit here, right, Big Al?
Yeah, you absolutely do. And I think to Derek Heitman's credit there, he said that now he hopefully will be able to cycle through faster because he topped his car off during the last stage event. So something that not a lot of people thought about. But yeah, I think we'll actually be watching to see how that plays out for him.
Definitely will be. As of course, these guys are still rolling around out here. And there we go, down pit road. Everybody going to be filing right down. And interesting, I mean, good thing these guys don't have to do this under green, because I think that would be incredibly difficult. Don't you think?
Yeah, and also you got to think about it too that there is such a long, drawn-out axis on this pit road. So another advantage that Heitman's going to have is he was the pole sitter, so he'll actually be sitting in P1 spot. So he just has to stay on his pace, get into his block, get stopped on the spot straight. You got to be perfectly squared away, and then take gas and get back out first. That's going to be the key for him to try to change his luck in this thing.
Yeah, it really is, and it's so easy, I think, to mess up the exit here of this pit road too. Because I mean, could we see someone even get an unsafe pit exit? Definitely could be a possibility.
Yeah, you don't want to have any wasted seconds on this pit road, none at all. It looks like Heitman's strategy paid off as he
Yes,
is
it did.
the first car off of pit road. Wow. I mean, who would have thought it? But that's exactly where he did it, and it definitely worked out in his favor. But Matt DeCiani's still on pit road. Not sure what's going on there. He might be actually getting some damage repaired. Now he is just taking tires. So we are going to pull him up in the booth. It just looks like it's going to be a little bit of time before he gets done. He's going to find himself all the way to the back of the field here, Brian.
Yeah, he took tires. That was not a good call. This is going to hurt. I mean, he is. This I think might have been the bad call of the race. But let's go ahead and talk to him and see what was going on there.
Hey, Matt DeCiani, this is Big Al up in the booth. Yeah, got me?
Big Al,
Hey, Ben, congratulations there for a second place finish there in, I think, both stages, right?
I think I got third or fourth. I don't know what the scoring was in the first stage.
Okay, well, definitely. How's your car running there for you tonight?
I mean, it's great, but I don't know. iRacing glitch on the pit stopped right in the middle of my box and says I'm too far right in the box. So that's the first time I've ever seen that happen.
Oh, wow. So you actually had to get resituated in the pit box. So were you actually planning on taking tires?
No, I wasn't going to take tires at all. But once I realized I can't, I was going to lose all the track position. I just decided to take tires.
Wow, yeah. Well, it looked like you had a very fast car. Hopefully, you actually be able to battle your way back up through the field, man. We just wanted to give you a shout out and kind of get an idea of what's going on, though. But I'm not going to belabor the point anymore, man. But before I let you go, you want to give a brief shout out to anybody?
Yeah, thanks to you guys in the booth. Thanks to EPI for the setup. We had a fast car. I was in position to win it, but we'll see what happens here. Hopefully I can get some positions back, but hard to pass. But yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, all right, bud. Good luck to you, man, and we'll be watching from up top.
Thank you.
That was Matt DeCiani. Definitely a big mistake there on pit road, taking those tires, and also I do believe he missed his box a little bit there.
Well, and that's exactly what we were talking about, where I said, you got to be squared away when you get into the box, meaning you got to be dead center on that box because you don't want to have any wasted time whatsoever. And of course, Matt DeCiani displaying exactly what we're talking about, costing him very, very valuable pit positions.
Yeah, very much. I mean, he is going to pay for that very, very dearly. And he was one of the fastest cars on the racetrack. That's what's so sad about it. I mean, but you always say it. I mean, you go ahead and say it. I mean, pit stops are important. That's kind of what it means. The point is of this.
Yeah. You drive for show, but you pit for dough. And even more to that point, I mean, right now Derek Heitman has put himself in a very key position just because of pit road strategy, you know. But had he not got it in his box and been completely centered, he could have suffered the same fate that Matt DeCiani did. So that just goes to even show more the importance of actually being squared away on pit road.
Yeah, and I think that was ingenious, you know, with that strategy. I don't think anybody even thought about doing something like that, you know, but Heitman definitely playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that's why they call them strategies, though, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, hopefully he doesn't make the same kind of mistake he did early in this race, but then again, his tires are going to be up to temperature now. So,
You know, and he
hopefully we
knows.
won't see that.
And he knows. He knows how fast his car is, and he knows exactly what he's got to do now because he's already done the wrong thing. Now he's just got to go out there, be consistent, and do the right thing. And if he does that and put himself in a position to win this thing, because we've already seen the tremendous value that you get from not only track position but from clean air. So right now we're going to be watching to see what Mr. Heitman can do, because if he can actually go back out there and because right now he controls his own fate, right?
Oh, he very much does. You know, can't be pressured. I mean, Jason Obrega, though, I mean, this is going to be a change for him. I mean, he's been used to being in clean air essentially all race long. Now he's going to be put in a little bit of a different situation here.
Yeah, and Nobrega, he is no stranger to controversy, and I don't mean that saying that like he's the guy who goes out. No, man, he is a very strong competitive racer, especially on road courses. But we have seen where, you know, he's had a couple of missteps, and that's cost him a lot of valuable track position and even finishing. So right now, as we get ready to go into this third and final stage, we've got to be watching to see if he is going to be able to crawl out of that hole that he's kind of been in, and maybe, you know, because he needs a strong finish right now.
Yeah, you know who also needed a strong finish? Matt DeCiani. You know, he was really close in the points, I do believe, for the Cup Series on, you know, Clayton Hoffman. Like, they were only separated, I do believe, like somewhere around 20 points. And, you know, Clayton Hoffman, of course, having his issues, you know, disconnecting like he did or whatever happened, maybe with technical. Green flag, of course, back out in the air. I mean, but DeCiani needed a good finish here, and that is just a big mistake there for him. Lost opportunity. Derek Heitman, though, taking every opportunity to put a gap on these fellas. Already a half a second going into turn one.
Yeah, that green flag is out, and right now it is time in track positions. Everything as we watch these guys coming into turn one, we've seen 3-wide racing and all kinds of racing here. But now the key is you got to be smart now. As Joseph Lester is going to be back there, because if you're not, and Matt DeCiani is going to be, got to keep his head on a swivel, because right now he's going to find himself in the perfect position to be taken out of this thing.
Oh, problems there for Joey Preby.
Yeah, Joey Preby has been no stranger to danger here tonight. That is, I think, the second time he's kind of been involved in that, but looked like he's actually got that Ford Mustang actually rolling. Oh, but hey, Matt DeCiani comes in real hard, and he's going to get in the grease bomb, and then he's going to get it sideways just a little bit. And those are the kind of worries that he's going to have to watch out for, because right there, him and Greasebomb actually got into incidental contact, but looks like they're both back on the road and rolling.
Yeah, that definitely was not the best case situation there for DeCiani. I mean, that's the thing about him. You know, he's stuck a lot further back in this pack, so he's having to deal with a lot more traffic and, you know, definitely fighting for real estate that might not be there.
And, you know, everybody gets a little bit more excited once someone comes either up on you or you know, that you come up on them, because it makes it a little bit more intense. So obviously those guys are racing, so emotions are high, and just your whole existence is high. You know, you're just really kind of focused on everything that's going on. So no harm, no foul, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm sure that they didn't mean to do that for sure, but I mean, one thing about it, though, no more cautions. Nothing's going to save you now, so whatever happens, whatever causes you to lose any amount of time, that's done. You know, you're going only thing you could do now is play catch up, you know?
Yeah, but it's still a lot of racing left as we got cars off the road ahead. Looks like Joseph Lester, Randy Drumhiller, those two guys got into each other at a minimum.
Good job on Randy Drumhiller to wait for before coming back up onto the racetrack. A lot of cars were coming.
Yeah, you know, these guys are racing hard. Drumheller car was already kind of dinged up a little bit, but, you know, now it's kind of dinged up a lot of it. But, Rain Grassi gets a little bit sideways there, and that's going to cause him to be right up on top of Matt DeCiani. DeCiani now to go make his way around on the inside.
As we're going to be circling around to 20 laps to go here. Halfway through the race here, and Wayne Grassi definitely struggling a little bit here. As we see Matt DeCiani comes up to the back here of Jose Acosta.
Yeah, Grassi and Acosta both have been kind of struggling a little bit here tonight, as Grassi has been around a couple of times and incidental contact. But, you know, it is road racing, so
oh, wow, JC Nobrega down pit road. What is going on here?
Yeah, not sure what that's about.
He is going to lose a myriad of positions. I'm wondering what's happening here. Maybe something personal came up or something, maybe a penalty?
Yeah, definitely not sure what that is about, but we will definitely have to follow and watch that one.
The only thing I can think of is it's got to be a penalty, because I know that this track, a lot of guys have been talking about it. You know, some of the limits of the racetrack are not as clearly defined, and you can get an off track pretty easily here. Could he have gotten that?
Yeah, he could have blown turn 14. You know, that one will send you down pit road for a 26-second hold. I do speak on that one from my personal experience.
Yeah, you've actually been doing a whole lot of running here this week, haven't you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love this track, especially with this car. So I definitely can understand the reason why these guys are down there doing what they're doing. And with some of the lap times that these guys are putting down there, that's even more phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, lap times have been significantly strong here. I mean, last time by, minute 28.388 from Derek Heitman. He is the fastest man on the racetrack by far. I mean, he is over a second, he's actually a second and a half faster than the next guy.
You know, he said slow is fast here, and he is absolutely right. You know, you got to back those corners up, and you just got to let the car roll through. This car, if NASCAR, I mean, they're going to want to showcase this car, because this thing, it drives nothing like its predecessor, especially on road courses, though. So I think that's why I think a lot of guys are looking forward to racing this car, because it's more set up for road racing, if you will.
It definitely is a whole different monster. I'll agree with you on that when it comes to road racing. A lot of guys surprisingly have said they like the Xfinity car at this track, which is kind of interesting. But Joseph Lester there coming on the inside, I do believe Andrew Grisbaum.
Sorry about that. Jose Acosta actually just lost it right there in front of Matt DeCiani, and that's going to put Jose, he's going to slip back, definitely lose about 5 or 6 positions on that. But heads up driving there for Matt DeCiani, because he could have definitely found himself right in the back of Jose, but he was actually able to navigate around him just fine.
And the big fight going right now is Jeffrey Souza. He is screaming through this field here. Here comes Joey Preby back on the inside. But Jeffrey Souza able to get the run on the exit. Oh, tags the wall. That's going to slow him down on the straightaway here.
Hey, these walls are made of concrete also. Did you know that?
Yeah, I definitely did. And you can tell. As
Lester just goes into the wall as well, as he was following Grassi and just slipped right into it. You know, we still have 18 laps to go, which is a lot of racing, and Matt DeCiani has already found himself all the way back up to 12th. So that just shows the pace that he is on.
I'll tell you what shows the pace that Derek Heitman's on right now, though. He has 7 seconds on second place right now. We went green on lap 19, I do believe. No, I'm sorry, lap 20. And he has already built 7.5 seconds here, Big Al. That is insanity.
Insanity is Joey Preby just found himself the sole recipient of a self-spin award.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's you don't want to keep doing that, especially if there is a limit on how many X's you can get. I mean, we could see that could have been what happened to JC Nobrega, or it could have been or whether it was, like you said, an unsafe pin entry, which could have definitely been the case.
But yeah, Nabrega's back out and running, if my memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, it does look like he is back on the racetrack, but of course he is not in contention anymore. And unfortunate too, so sad because he had a fast machine.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, you and I, we have this conversation because we call
Privy through the grass. I'm sorry, Big Al, to interrupt you.
Yeah, Privy through the grass. But we have this conversation a lot, and I say the same thing to my drivers. You're going to be in a lot of different positions while you're racing, okay? But the key is put yourself in a position in order that you can succeed and be around at the end of this thing. Don't put yourself in a position that you're going to lose positions, or damage the car, you know, or prevent us from winning. Put yourself in a position that we can actually gain ground and actually be faster and more efficiently, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, you got to race your own race, especially at a track like this. Mark Paget, though, making a pass there on Danny the Rabbit. Looks like he's going to move himself up onto the podium to third place and trying to run down Renato Tamburini. Tamburini having some issues there off that corner there, a little bit slower. I think Paget might have him. This is going to be a battle for second place. Because they're sure as heck it's not a battle for first right now. Top five, though, or I should say second, third, fourth, and fifth, are pretty close to one another. So I would not be surprised to see a battle develop here between these drivers. I mean, Lucas Abreu showing a tremendous amount of pace. Can he catch up and also, you know, stick his name into this hat? What a great job, though. I got to shout out Chris Johnson. He's sitting right now 9th place, came into this race very, was not confident at all. He was like, I'm going to start in the back. I just don't feel like I'm fast. I'm just going to hope that guys have problems. Right now, he's finding himself up in the top 10.
Well, yeah, right. And he was just 3 wide coming around that start-finish line there as Matt DeCiani is slowly making his way up. But you got Mark Sanchez and Jeffrey Souza are right there in front of him. And if you know who Mark Sanchez and Jeffrey Souza are, you'll understand that this is definitely some fierce competition that's going on there. And right into the back of those guys is the 117 of Thomas O'Hara and the 95 of Joseph Lester. So Johnson is definitely not alone.
Oh, problems for the 35. I do believe he took the wrong turn there. Oh, he is still in the grass here. Big problems for Renato Tamburini.
And that's the one thing about Renato that I was going to say, and I didn't want to speak it into existence, but he got a little bit inside his own head a little bit earlier, and his mistakes have cost him a very, very valuable track position. Well, look at it right now. He just has gone from second place all the way down to 6th place, just like that in a blink of an eye. So,
and the thing is, where he lost it at, could he get an unsafe pin entry? That's what we kind of. This is going to be the tale here. If Renato has to go down pit road, that might be exactly what happened to JC.
Yeah, that is definitely something to watch. But Matt DeCiani is right now battling up against Chris Johnson. He is trying to do everything he can. Looks like he is going to best him for that position. And now, just like that, Matt DeCiani finds himself up to 9th place.
Definitely a heck of a recovery after such a tremendous mistake there from Matt DeCiani.
Stay in your own race. You can't get in your own head. That's what we keep saying. You know, those mistakes, you got to let them roll right off, because you got to give yourself the opportunity to make more mistakes, and then don't take those opportunities, right? Derek Hype, he found out early on, oh man, I just got too excited. I made a mistake. Made a brilliant pit decision. Now look at where he's at. He's got almost 8 seconds on P2 right now. And as we're sitting here with some 14 laps to go, he just can't make that same mistake again, right?
Definitely not. Looks like Renato Tamburini did not receive a penalty, has not gone down pit road, so good for him. Oh, problems for Mark Sanchez on the exit there of the turn. Gets into the inside wall. That's going to give Matt DeCiani 8th place.
Yeah, and here he comes. So just like that, tell Jeffrey Souza to look out. And here comes Lester. Lester's driving real hard in there. He's going to be trying to get around Johnson. So hopefully he'll be able to make that. And he did. He made that pass without contact.
Definitely was really close. He was leaning on him quite hard. And what do you expect from a Lightning McQueen race truck or race car?
Yeah, absolutely. But Johnson just decides, that's just not a battle that you want to fight for, right? I mean, we don't really battle for 10th place. Not like that. Not with 17 laps to go. Well, 14 laps to go. Sorry. Man, this race is just moving right along there, Brian.
It very much is. We're seeing a lot of battling. I mean, usually at road courses, you see it really spread out. I mean, yeah, it has spread it out for a lot of guys out here, but there still is quite a number of battles that are going on. And you love to see it. I mean, this is definitely, I think a lot of guys have their apprehension about this racetrack. But I think that, some of those questions are kind of quelled. I mean, this track seems like it's working really well for this next-gen car. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what we're going to see on Sunday. Of course, I mean, I love tradition, though, also. I'd love to see them actually run the Brickyard, the actual oval. But, I mean, this has definitely not been a disappointing race. See Jose Acosta, he's trying to battle back here with Andrew Griesbaum. Here comes Joseph Lester. He's catching up to the back end of Matt DeCiani. This is going to be a big battle right here. These two have been showing a pace all night long. Both have hit minute 28-second laps.
Yeah, and Lester actually being a little bit the faster of the two, but the key is consistency, man. And right now, that's just about where you're at.
Matt DeCiani's last time, minute 31, so he's a little off the pace there. Maybe made a little bit of a mistake.
No, I think he's just settling in. I mean, he understands that it's still a ways to go, and he has made up quite a few positions. He's already up into the top 10. Just got to be real smart about what he's doing.
This is a marathon, that is for sure, not a sprint.
It is definitely not a sprint, Brian.
As we see Joseph Lester coming up onto the back end, this is going to be a big fight here. Jeffrey Souza, essentially whoever wins this fight between these two, Jeffrey Souza is going to have to face him soon, considering he's right there in front. And we even could see a three-car battle here. Man, what a job Mark Sanchez has been doing in this race. Definitely been very impressed with a lot of the drivers out here.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Guys are getting ready to, they're actually able to show their strengths here at road racing. And here comes Lester on the inside of DeCiani. It seems to be his signature move, but looks like DeCiani says not so fast, but Lester decides that he's going to be a little bit of a bull to try to roll through there. DeCiani keeping the door closed on him. That's going to allow Souza just to slip away a little bit, and I think that's what Souza kind of was looking for, is just that opportunity. But just like that, he loses that advantage, and now DeCiani is slowly reeling him in as well.
Yeah, it looks like DeCiani's going to maybe able to make this pass happen. He's going to maybe shoot underneath. There he is, side by side, and he's going to make that pass. Take a look at Joseph Lester. Wow.
Yeah, Lester was just a creature of opportunity right there, and he just followed DeCiani right on through. And just like that, DeCiani is already up to 7th place right now.
If you look in the definition or in the dictionary for send it, you probably see a picture of Joseph Lester's car, because that's exactly what he just did. As he's going to be trying to work on Matt DeCiani. Of course, this is for 7th position. Oh,
yeah, I think
Lester hanging it out.
I think that'll be the battle to watch, because Lester is going to try to do everything he can to try to best DeCiani. And DeCiani, I think he's just going to be the old bull there, and he's just going to do what old bulls do.
Yeah, definitely Matt DeCiani, not an easy guy to pass. As Joseph Lester definitely probably knows that by now. Gotta say though, just looking at the top 5, I forgot. or just realized Greg Wyszynski sitting in 5th place right now. The battle, though, is going to start to come to head here between him and Renato.
Yeah, Lucas Abreu, look at where he's sitting. He's sitting right there in 4th.
I mean, Greg Wyszynski, I think, coming into this race didn't show a lot of confidence himself either, but has definitely gotten better and better as this races went on.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And with 10 to go, looks like Jeffrey Souza has closed the door back up to Joseph Lester.
See Joseph Lester kind of going off the track a little bit there. I think he's trying too hard. Mark Sanchez also went into the grass. That's one thing about it. You know, he's chasing that carrot. You don't want to do that at a road course.
Got to be easy. Got to be smooth. Smooth is fast. Slow is fast.
Derek Heitman has definitely exemplified that here tonight as he has over now 10 seconds.
Yeah,
only 18 drivers on the lead lap right now.
Yeah, and look at his best lap time. I mean, it's sub 128, almost to a 127. So he's definitely found what he needed in order to make that car go. And go is what he's doing. He's just got to, I mean, he knew what not to do, and now he's just doing what he needs to do.
Did see a battle just now from Renato Tamburini, able to take the spot from Greg Wyszynski, moving his way back up to 5th.
Yeah, now Kozlowski is now, he's going to slip in between Matt DeCiani and Joseph Lester. That's definitely going to give DeCiani a little bit more of an advantage as now he is slowly moving along.
Yeah, definitely impressed. Even though Al Kozlowski is 1 lap down, he still is out there making an effort. Gotta give him credit for that.
Yep, and then Paul Olsen's going to slide in front of Lester, and that's going to cause Lester to get a little bit haywire. Lester definitely getting a little bit frustrated there with the lap traffic, but he has got to remember he's got to just stay out of his own head there and continue just driving the race and then letting the car come to him.
Kind of a battle kind of coming to fruition back here also. Chris Johnson and Thomas O'Hara. Chris Johnson having a little bit of a blinking issue. Chris Johnson apparently the magic man. Now you see me, now you don't. Oh, JC Nobrega loses it. That is in front of Kenny Powell. And soon, those guys will probably be finding themselves a lap down if Derek Heitman has it his way. See Chris Johnson now coming up to Al Kozlowski. Of course, Kozlowski is a lap down. This could be a little bit somewhat helpful here for Thomas O'Hara as he's going to close in the gap a little bit here. It's all about where you catch that person.
Yeah, a lot of drivers are having a solid run tonight, though. Like I said, the biggest thing is a lot of these guys who don't normally get a chance to to finish in the front and the top order, or the top of the order, are going to do just that here this evening.
Very much so. Especially, I mean, this being, you know, a road course like this, kind of new to everybody. I mean, no one, before they switched this over, had turned any laps on this. I mean, it definitely speaks to the volumes of these guys' driving ability. I mean, it's you know, like I said, you have to be able to memorize a track like this, too. But, I mean, it also shows that these guys have that, you know, they're able to adapt and learn quickly.
Yeah, it's like learning to play a new song. You know, you got to go through the riffs. You got to commit it to memory. Just like you're saying, you got to know just how fast it's going in each turn, and that's how it is with a lot of these tracks. But road courses being a little bit more complex than the oval courses. But speaking of that, don't we go to Bristol next week?
No, that is for another series that we race for, or broadcast for in the Performance Motor Network. Next week, we actually go to Michigan here in the ISCA Racing Series.
Okay, Michigan.
That is going to be a good one. I don't really know what to expect, to be honest with you. I mean, a lot of guys say it's going to be, pretty flat out. I'd say it probably will be, but also Michigan does not have restrictor plates. So that means we're probably going to see some of the fastest racing we've seen all season there.
Yeah, excited now, especially that I know where we're going.
Heitman, though, is coming up to the back of some other guys here to put them a lap down. Randy Drumhiller, next man on the chopping block here. Got Jeffrey Souza. He's coming up to the back end of the 31 of Mark Sanchez. Probably going to see a battle here for 9th here shortly.
Yeah, looks like just like that, Joseph Lester has found his way back up to the number 1's bumper.
Yeah, these guys have been battling all race long, it seems like. Always seem to find these two together. Look at the 95 diving it in. Gets right up to the back of the 1. Almost thought he was getting ready to hit him. As we now, I do believe, verging on 5 laps to go. You can see that DeCiani and Joseph Lester are catching up here to Renato Tamburini, I do believe, the 35. And look at that, Greg Wachinski actually back up to 5th, so I think Renato might have had a moment that we didn't see.
Yeah, Renato's, like I said, he has definitely been his own worst enemy here tonight, as he has had a couple of times where he's actually taken himself off pace.
And it's so easy to do, easy to make mistakes at these kind of tracks. And we're so close to the end of this thing. I mean, focus is starting to wane, wouldn't you say? I mean, I think these guys are probably at their mental limits right now.
Yeah, 41 laps on this track is quite a bit.
And there goes the breaking point there for the 35. He's off the racing surface. Going to be coming back up onto the track, I do believe, right in front of Mark Sanchez.
Now, don't forget now, Jeffrey Souza's going to be...
Oh, both Joseph Lester and Matt DeCiani both went off the track together there, Big Al. Sorry to interrupt you.
Well, sometimes you just follow the guy in front of you, and that's exactly what happened. We are 5 to go.
This is where the racing's at right here.
Yeah, Lester's been following him for so long, so, well, I'll get where you go, I will follow, and nothing runs truer than that, right?
Definitely not, as these guys are battling hard for position here. Cutting as deep as you can onto this curbing, too. I mean, there's some certain spots to this track you definitely don't want to cut too deep on it, but it looks like DeCiani, you're going to be able to hold off Joseph Lester. I don't think this fight is over by a long shot.
No, Lester's favorite thing to do is to drive deep into those turns.
Oh, Andrew Griesbaum into the outside wall. Big hit there. Randy Drumhiller has found himself a lap down. Next man up will be, I do believe, Jose Acosta, and it won't be long.
Yeah, way to go, Derek Heitman. Definitely coming out, identifying what he did wrong, making the necessary changes and adjustments, call it an audible on the pit strategy, thinking outside of the box, literally and figuratively. And look at what it's done for him. It's put him in a great position there, over 8 seconds over P2.
I mean, definitely, whether he came up with that idea himself or he had a crew chief behind him, what a genius call. I mean, it really was the call of the race.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if anybody actually picks up on that and duplicates it on the Saturday night show.
I definitely would. Oh, Jeffrey Souza coming up to the back of Mark Sanchez, locks the tires up almost some contact. I think there might have been a little bit of contact there between the 31 and the 14.
He's just letting them know he's back there. He's been following them for a while. You know, I don't think he's to the point that he's impatient yet, but I definitely think he wants them to know that he's there.
That he does here. So I do believe we have 3 laps to go here this next time by.
Yeah, wow, what a race here. It looks like that we still have some 16 of the 29 cars that started this thing on the lead lap. Or 25 cars.
Yeah, we started out with 25 here tonight. We do have a little bit of a battle here for the last guys on the lead lap. You see JC Nobrega fighting with Andrew Grisbaum. He's going to be trying to get side by side into turn 1. We saw JC have some major mistakes earlier. Definitely has shown a lot of pace.
Yeah, Nobrega definitely was up. He was on the podium for a long time tonight there. Heck, he was even in the lead for a while there. It looks like he had made some kind of a mistake, though, and that cost him. But right now, looks like Lester is all over DeCiani.
Yeah, this is definitely the fight right here.
Yeah, the end of this race isn't going to be able to come fast enough for DeCiani because Joseph Lester is wearing him like a cheap suit.
Yeah, and I think the only thing really Lester can do right now is force DeCiani to make a mistake unless he uses the bumper. That's the only thing I could think that, you know, because DeCiani's been having him covered pretty well here. I mean, even though Joseph Lester probably does have a little bit more speed. Here comes Lester on the inside. He's going to try to late break. Thinks better of it.
Well, I believe I'm going to go back to, I'm going to quote you earlier. If he does hit him, though, he better take him all the way out because I don't think it's going to play well for him at all.
No, I think DeCiani probably has enough experience that he's probably going to take you with you, or take you with him. Looks like Jeffrey Souza has made the pass on Sanchez, up to 9th now. Derek Heitman going to be coming up here. He's actually just getting around Al Kozlowski to put him now 2 laps down. And look at all those cars that are in front of Derek Heitman here. Now we have 2 laps remaining. I don't know if he's going to be able to catch all those guys up there. I don't know if he wants to. He's got such a gap that he's on a Sunday drive here.
Yeah, whatever he figured out, definitely, it seems that it is definitely working for him.
Well, that's one thing, too, though. I mean, anybody could have maybe tried to do that call and got up front, but not, you know, it also takes execution. You know, be able to keep, you know, have the pace to stay up there, and he's had exactly that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He had the car to beat, and he was up front. I mean, remember, he was the pole sitter, so to actually be able to put a strategy into place, execute it, and make it work, as Lester now is definitely going to be trying to drive down onto the inside of DeCiani. DeCiani is not going to let it go. These two are going to continue to battle. Lester trying to do everything he can to set up for the pass as we are 2 to go.
Yeah, you know, he's got to be getting pretty frustrated here. His patience probably reaching its limit.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Greg Wachinski is going to be right into the frame here. If you don't put the hammer down, though, I don't know.
Yeah, luckily Wachinski still has about 4 seconds in between these guys. Otherwise, he would definitely be very concerned. You could definitely see him in, you know, on the racetrack though in front of these guys. So if anything happens to Wachinski, he could find himself losing a spot. But I think the more I think concern is, or you know, is for these two, DeCiani and Lester though, because I mean, Renato could find himself with another couple positions here if these guys get tangled up here. As the white flag is out, the final time around this racetrack. And what a race it has been. I mean, it has been exciting from start to finish.
But definitely it has been that, Brian.
And you can see how far of how big of a lead Derek has right now, just considering Joseph and Matt just now crossed the line for the white flag for themselves.
Well, there's racing all over this track right now.
Very much so. I mean, JC Nobrega, he's fighting right now with Wayne Grossi a little bit further back. That is for 12th.
Yeah, Grossi, Grossi probably thinks the end of this race can't come soon enough either.
Oh, I'm sure. He's probably getting this guy off of me. But, I mean, you know, JC's not going to go anywhere. And knowing Wayne, he's going to try everything he can. Look at that. He's even throwing some blocks. Wayne Grossi out for blood here tonight. Oh, contact.
Oh! Did you see that? Nobrega gives the headbutt to the back of the 7 of Grossi.
That was quite a large hit. And it looks like that will conclude the race, though, for the leader. He crosses the line first place. Mark Sanchez able to lock down second. You see Daniel Rabbit looks like he's going to be at a grab third.
DeCiani's still going to go ahead and finish himself in 6th place.
Able to hold off Joseph Lester.
Yeah, Wachinski coming home with a strong 5th. I was actually watching the battle between Nobrega and Grossi, and it was just, it was brutal to say the least.
Very much so. I think a lot of the racing we've seen out here tonight has been just that, brutal. As I do believe that will bring us to our conclusion here. Derek Heitman, our winner. Definitely great job. Able to come up with some very out-of-the-box thinking to grab that win. Mark Sanchez giving a little bit of a victory bump there. Congratulations, if you will. Of course, Mark Padgett's going to finish 2nd place. Danilo Coelho, 3rd place. Lucas Abreu in 4th place. 5th place, Greg Wachinski. 6th place, Matt DeCiani. 7th place, Joseph Lester. 8th place, Renato Tamburini. 9th place, Jeffrey Souza. And rounding out our top 10, Mark Sanchez.
Chris D. Johnson in 11th with J.C. Nobrega in 12th. Wayne Grossi in 13th with Thomas O'Hara in 14th. 15th sees Jose Acosta. 16th, Andrew Griesbaum. 17th, Randy Drumhiller. 18th, Kenny Powell. 19th, Joey Preby. 20th, Paul Olson. 21st, Al Koslowski. 22nd, Robert Pattengill. 23rd, Andrew Layton. 24th, Clayton Hoffman. And 25, Chad Sullivan. With that, we're going to go ahead and take a break, get another message from our sponsors, and we will be back with our post-race coverage as lickety split.
O'Reilly.
It's O-Rewards Member Appreciation Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Stop in today and check out store-wide savings plus earn double points on over 225 items. It's our way of saying thank you. If you're not already a member, sign up today during O-Rewards Member Appreciation Month. It's fast, easy, and free. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and here we are for our post-race show. Definitely was an exciting one here tonight around the Indianapolis road course. Definitely, I think it was a successful outing, that is for sure, as we saw a lot of tight, close battles out there on the racetrack. We are going to be joined by our 3rd place finisher here tonight, Danilo Coelho. How are you doing this evening, man? I mean, 3rd place, got to be a good feeling for you.
Good night, everybody. Thank you. Yeah, was very fun. This race. All my teammates have a lot of fun. We are laughing a lot here in Squad. It's a difficult one, but we need to have fun. we are here to have fun and race with the guys, and just it. Unfortunately, JC made a mistake on the pit entry and passed the pace car, and I think this one uh, is he was the guy to be here. That's it. Yeah, thank you guys.
He was definitely very quick out there tonight. I mean, JC unfortunately made a mistake, but he was still able to recover and get up to 12th place at least. So definitely, you guys seemed like you had some really fast cars out there tonight. Where were you struggling the most? Seemed like on the later run, it seemed like it was getting a little bit more of a handful for you.
Yeah, we are very fast in the recover, in the exits of the corners, but to break this car in this straights is it's so difficult. But Lucas, it's a magician with setups. So he do setups for everyone. He take the setup and do for my hands to JC hands to whatever. But to break this car, I think is this is the worst in this race.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it. We could see those, the tire rotors or the brake rotors, I should say, literally just lighting up like a Christmas tree, turning red. Very easily identifiable, especially going into turn one. Well, you guys you did a great job. You able to get a top three here, and this new track, or not really a new track, but the new scan of it. So I'm sure that was a little bit more difficult to get used to it. But I mean, I know kind of a familiar one coming up here next week, Michigan. How are you feeling about that one?
Yeah, we don't know. We really don't know. We need to take the setup and run and test and uh, let's see what happened. Michigan is a good place to race. I think everyone is gonna race together, and let's see.
Yeah, definitely going to probably be some 2, 3, maybe even some 4 wide. Michigan is a quite a chaotic track. Can't look. We definitely can't wait for it. It's going to be an exciting one for sure. Who can we shout out, Danilo, after a finish like that tonight?
Yeah, I need shout out to first of all to Pedro Palladino is one of our guys. He's run very fast in this rate in this track and with this car. Shout out to our sponsor, Motor Bull, my car, Motor Bull, and He'll Drive. And that's it.
All right, man. We definitely appreciate your time and excellent work to you. Can't wait to see you next week.
Yeah, see you. Thank you.
That was Danilo Coelho. Definitely an excellent job for him, locking down a third place finish. Next up, Big Al's going to be sitting here waiting with Mark Pageant, our second place finisher.
Hey, Mark, this is Big Al up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Wow, man, what a strong performance, man. Looks like you guys actually qualified in fifth. Stage one, you finished in sixth. The second stage, you finished third. Overall, you finished second. So, what a rocket ship there. Obviously, being able to transcend all stages of the race. Had to feel pretty confident coming in here tonight, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an average road racer, so I just tried to keep it on the track, not make a mistake. Probably had a fourth or fifth place car, but I know JC had a problem, Clayton had a problem, so that moved me on up into the top three. Uh, but yeah, I mean, overall solid day. I'll take a top five on a road course any day.
Yeah, obviously the whole key to this is actually not making mistakes and remaining consistent, which is what you guys obviously were able to do throughout the entire course of the race. So, how many laps that you guys actually put down coming into this thing tonight? You said you considered yourself to be an okay road racer, but those are some pretty strong numbers.
Yeah, I'm actually a sub in another league I won't mention on here, but that I put more laps than most of the team here just because of that. But yeah, I mean, probably 100 or so for me.
Okay, as this was the first time that we'd actually raced this track with this scan, in your performance here, can we say that this safe to assume that this is a thumbs up for you guys?
Yeah, overall, I like the track. I do good on these low grip tracks. This road course seems to have less grip than some of the others we run on this tire. So yeah, I have fun sliding around, and I'd give it a thumbs up.
Roger that. Next week seems that we're headed to Michigan. Definitely hoping that you can carry over some of your momentum from this track to that. Is Michigan in your wheelhouse as a strong suit?
I think so. We had good cars at Auto Club, which is kind of what I'm comparing Michigan to at this point. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we give and take, because I think we'll see a lot of pack racing when we get there. A lot of close racing. I'll put it that way.
So, what is going to be your theory or your of concept here? So, I guess your plan is going to be you're going to try to stay clean and out of it, or you going to try to run up front most of the day?
My theory is just don't be in the middle. Don't be in the hornet's nest. So I'll either be up front or behind the big pack.
Well, Roger, that congratulations again on a solid run and a strong finish. Who you shouting out here tonight?
Yeah, as always, got to thank the team. And our sponsors, Stent Analyzers, Sousa Media. They're without them, it wouldn't be possible. The practice service wouldn't get paid for. So thanks, guys, and we'll go get them next week in Michigan.
Well, congratulations to you for doing what you did, man. It took a lot of your decisions actually to put that team in P2. So, how you celebrating here this evening?
Yeah, I got work tomorrow, so probably going to bed. Um, that's it. The adult life.
All right, man. Well, hopefully we'll see you next week, and congrats again.
Thanks, Al.
That was Mark Pageant, our second place finisher. Next up on the chopping block here, our winner. Man, what a call there from Derek Heitman. How are you doing, man? I mean, it worked out. You said exactly what you were going to do, and it happened.
Yeah, that was it was definitely a Hail Mary throw that I made there. As soon as I made that mistake on lap 2, I said, well, guess I'm pitting in stage 1, even though I didn't want to. So I went ahead and did it, and I just knew that, being the lightest or having to take the least amount of fuel load, because I expected nobody to take tires with the way that the official races were going this week. I expected nobody to take tires, so I figured having to take the less amount of fuel was going to get me out of pit road first, and never looked back.
Yeah, definitely was a very much an out of the box decision, and you had the pace to back it up because nobody else probably could have did what you did and actually made it, work. I mean, you had the pace. Also, I mean, you were the fastest man, I do believe, all night long, able to hit a minute 28.096. I mean, that was by far the fastest lap on the racetrack all night long. Man, I mean, what did you do to prepare coming into this race?
I ran a few officials. I made sure to run the 5:30 official. I wanted to so I ran the 5:30 official, and then I set up a hosted session of my own, because I know that Kenny likes to run these 100% track state races. So I set up a hosted session of 100% track state and just turned laps on that for an hour, and realized the car was going to be extremely loose. Kind of figured out what I needed to do as far as feathering the gas, getting off the corner, and it really paid off.
Definitely seemed like it did, man. I mean, well-earned win. I know you haven't even been in this Thursday series very long. I think this is your second race. If I'm not mistaken, didn't you finish second last week?
That's a great question.
I think you finished pretty well last week. I know that was your first race here on the Thursday series, was it not?
So yeah, last week was my first race on the Thursday series. Where'd I finish last week? I'm looking right now.
Well, either way, I know you probably did pretty
I
well.
finished seventh. Yeah,
Seventh, okay. I don't know why I was thinking. I guess a second and seventh sound pretty close, but I mean, still, I mean, you had a lot of pace. I know last week you were up there in the front quite a bit, and what kind of message does this send to the I guess the locker room out there? After you come out here and just put on a show like this against some of the best.
Unfortunately, I don't think I can send a huge message, just because I don't think that I'm going to be playoff eligible in this league. So I mean, at this point, I'm just out here racing for fun. It feels like. So I mean, it's a good time as far as the message goes. I mean, I guess everybody next year should just know that I'll be a force to be reckoned with.
Well, I mean, even if you're not, playoff eligible, you still are taking valuable points from other people. That's a message.
Yeah, I just rack them up and see where it gets me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you definitely impressed us quite a bit tonight. We just couldn't stop talking about how fast you were and that off the wall, pit sequence that no one really even thought of doing. I mean, now we're probably going to see on Saturday guys trying to kind of replicate that. I mean, but how are you feeling? I know Michigan's going to be coming up next week. How are you feeling about that one?
I mean, honestly, it's gonna be my just like tonight, I mean, well, I should say this week is my very first time ever racing an Indy road course on iRacing. Next week will be my very first time ever racing Michigan on iRacing. I'm so new to the sim. I'm only 4 months in. I know you probably can't tell by watching me drive, but it'll be a learning experience. I'll figure it out. We'll see what kind of power EPI puts under the hood for me and see if we can bring home another one.
That is just so impressive that you're so young into your iRacing life. I mean, man, I've been on here for almost 4 years, and wow, you are just definitely brimming with a lot of talent. Been very impressed to watch this man. After your win here tonight, who can we give a shout out to?
Again, I mean, definitely got to shout out EPI for giving me the power under the hood. I mean, Michael Conti works his butt off, giving us setups that are drivable to our driving style. We're on our fourth setup this week from him just because he's just takes feedback in the Discord, what we need, what we want, what we want to see better in the car, and he makes it happen for us. And so he always makes sure he does his best to get us a setup we can drive. Again, I gotta shout out Matt DiCiani, of course, because I wouldn't even be in this league if it wasn't for him. And all the practice laps that he turns with me. I mean, he's really been a strong competitor for me on iRacing, and he makes a great teammate.
Well, definitely seems like it. I know he had a lot of speed here tonight, also, considering he had a little bit of a kerfuffle on pit road there. And that was definitely not what he wanted to have happen. I'm sure he would have been right up here on the podium if he hadn't have made that mistake. But that's one thing we saw a lot of tonight: mistakes. Kind of propagating it and causing issues for other drivers. You made a mistake, but you also found a way to recover from it. Congratulations once again, Derek.
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate y'all bringing me up in the booth. Hopefully it's not the last time.
Well, I'm sure it won't be after the performance we saw here tonight. And thanks for your time.
Absolutely. Have a good night.
That is Derek Heitman, our winner here tonight. Great job to him as he tackles the Indianapolis road course, the new scan also. So definitely quite a man, Big Al. I mean, that is impressive. The man's only been on here for 4 months and already, coming on the tracks he's never even driven on and just taking care of business.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. No, yeah, definitely not to take anything away from Derek Heitman. He totally put on a clinic tonight, and like I mean, definitely from pit strategy to race strategy, he made the decisions to put himself out front. So overall tonight, I think a lot of people will attempt to duplicate his processes on Saturday. But yeah, a great race here tonight, Brian.
Yeah, even though you can duplicate his process, it's going to be hard to actually execute it like he did. Would not be surprised that if a fast guy is able to do that, it could definitely be what someone needs to get out in front and drive away, just like what we just saw. Excellent race here tonight, though. Man, I definitely came into this race like, man, I don't know about this Indy road course, but I am coming out a believer. This has definitely been an exciting one. Can't wait to see what Saturday holds. Speaking of Saturday, make sure you tune in 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be going green around that time. Of course, we'll be going live around 9:15. But of course, when you want to see all the action, 9:30 is the number. So make sure you definitely tune in. Me and Big Al will be on the call as we get ready for the Tucson Sound Art Cup and Super Cup Series. But with that, I do believe that about wraps it up here for tonight. We'll see you next time, ladies and gentlemen.